Welcome to the world of Linux. One of the most powerful tools in Linux is the terminal. It's a text-based interface that allows you to interact with your computer directly. Many people find it intimidating at first, but once you learn the basics, you'll see how efficient and powerful it can be. The Linux terminal gives you direct access to your system, allowing you to perform tasks quickly and efficiently. With just a few keystrokes, you can do things that might take several clicks in a graphical interface. This makes it a favorite tool for system administrators, developers, and power users. But it's not just for experts. Even beginners can benefit from learning the basics of the terminal. Learning the terminal will give you a deeper understanding of how Linux works. It will allow you to customize your system in ways that aren't possible through graphical interfaces. You'll be able to automate repetitive tasks, troubleshoot problems more effectively, and even impress your tech-savvy friends. Plus, many Linux servers don't have graphical interfaces at all. If you want to work with these systems, knowing the terminal is essential. In this guide, we'll walk you through the essential commands every Linux user should know. We'll explain what each command does and how to use it, with practical examples to help you understand how these commands are used in real-world situations. By the end of this guide, you'll have the confidence to start exploring the Linux terminal on your own. So, let's dive in and start mastering the Linux terminal. The terminal, also known as the command line or shell, is a text-based interface to your Linux system. It might look plain compared to the colorful icons and windows of a graphical user interface, but don't let that fool you. The terminal is incredibly powerful and flexible. It's like having a direct line to the heart of your Linux system. When you open a terminal, you'll see a prompt. This is usually your username followed by your computer's name and a $sign. This prompt is where you type your commands. After typing a command, you press Enter to execute it. The system then carries out your instruction and shows you the result. It's a simple back-and-forth conversation between you and your computer. One of the biggest advantages of the terminal is its efficiency. Many tasks that require multiple clicks in a graphical user interface can be accomplished with a single command in the terminal. For example, you can search for all files modified in the last 24 hours with one command. Doing the same thing in a graphical user interface would involve navigating through multiple folders and menus. The terminal also allows you to easily combine commands to perform complex operations. Another key feature of the terminal is its consistency across different Linux distributions. While graphical interfaces can vary widely between different versions of Linux, terminal commands are largely the same. This means that once you learn these commands, you can use them on virtually any Linux system. The first step in mastering the Linux terminal is learning how to navigate the file system. Two essential commands for this are ls and cd. Let's start with ls, which stands for list. This command shows you the contents of a directory. When you type ls and press enter, you'll see a list of all files and directories in your current location. The ls command has many useful options. For example, lsl gives you a long listing, showing more details about each file. LSA shows all files including hidden ones. You can combine these options, so LSLA gives you a detailed list of all files including hidden ones. Now let's move on to CD, which stands for change directory. This command allows you to move between directories. To use it, you type cd followed by the name of the directory you want to move to. For example, cd documents would move you into the documents directory. If you want to move up one level in the directory structure, you can use cd. And if you want to go straight to your home directory from anywhere, you can simply type cd with no arguments. These two commands, ls and cd, form the foundation of navigating in the Linux terminal. With ls, you can see what's around you, and with cd, you can move to where you want to go. Practice using these commands to explore your file system. Try moving into different directories and listing their contents. Remember, you can always use pwd, print working directory, to see where you are if you get lost. With these tools, you'll be navigating your Linux system like a pro in no time. Now that you know how to navigate your file system, let's learn how to create and remove directories. The command for creating directories is mkdir, which stands for make directory. Type mkdir followed by the directory name. For example, mkdir my new folder. To remove directories, use rmdir, which stands for remove directory. Rmdir my new folder deletes the directory if it's empty. With mkdir and rmdir, you can manage directories in your Linux system. Section 5, working with files touch, CP, and MV. Now that we can navigate and manage directories, let's learn how to work with files. We'll start with the touch command. Despite its name, touch doesn't actually touch anything. Its primary use is to create empty files. For example, touch myfile.txt would create a new empty file called myfile.txt in your current directory. If the file already exists, touch will update its timestamp to the current time without changing its contents. Next, let's look at the CP command, which stands for copy. This command is used to make copies of files and directories. The basic syntax is cp source destination. For example, cp myfile.txt mycopy.txt would create a copy of myfile.txt called mycopy.txt. You can also use cp to copy files into different directories. cp myfile.txt/home/user/document/ would copy myfile.txt into the documents directory. If you want to copy entire directories and their contents, you need to use the R recursive option, like this: cp r myfolder copy. The mv command, which stands for move, is used to move files and directories from one location to another. It's also used to rename files and directories. The basic syntax is the same as cp mv source destination. For example, mv myfile.txt/home/user/document/ would move myfile.txt into the documents directory. To rename a file, you would use mv oldname.txt newname.txt. Unlike ecp, mv works on directories without needing any additional options. These commands give you powerful control over your files and directories. With touch, you can create new files or update timestamps. CPE allows you to make copies of your files and directories, which is useful for backups or when you want to experiment with changes. And MV lets you organize your files by moving them around or renaming them. Practice using these commands to manage your files efficiently. Section 6, viewing file contents, cat, less, and head. Let's learn how to view file contents. Cat displays file contents. Cat myfile.txt prints the entire file. For larger files, use less. It lets you scroll and search within the file. Head shows the first 10 lines. Use head and to specify more lines. Tail shows the end of the file. These commands help you view file contents efficiently. Section 7, searching and filtering, grep and find. Searching for specific information in files or finding files with certain characteristics are common tasks in Linux. Two powerful commands for these purposes are grep and find. Grep searches for patterns in files. The basic syntax is grep pattern file name. For example, grep hello myfile.txt searches for the word hello in myfile.txt. Grep is case sensitive by default, but I makes it case insensitive. Grep error log searches for error in all log files in the current directory. Find searches for files. The basic syntax is find path options. For example, find name ttxt searches for all .txt files in the current directory. Combining find and grep can be powerful. Find name a log exec grep error searches log files for error. With grep and find, you have powerful tools for searching both within files and for files themselves. Practice using these commands. They'll save you a lot of time in your Linux system. Section 8, managing processes, PS and kill. Understanding how to manage processes is crucial for any Linux user. Processes are running instances of programs, and Linux gives you powerful tools to monitor and control them. The two main commands we'll discuss for process management are ps and kill. Let's start with ps, which stands for process status. When you run ps without any options, it shows you the processes running in the current terminal. This isn't very useful most of the time, so we usually use it with options. A common combination is ps-aux, which shows all processes running on the system, regardless of which user started them. Each line of the output represents a process and includes information like the process ID, PID, CPU usage, memory usage, and the command that started the process. You can also use ps to find specific processes. For example, ps-aux grep Firefox would show you all processes related to Firefox. The symbol is called a pipe, and it sends the output of ps-aux to grep, which then searches for Firefox. This combination of commands is very powerful and commonly used in Linux. Now let's talk about the kill command. Despite its aggressive name, kill is simply used to send signals to processes. The most common use is to terminate a process that's not responding. To use kill, you need to know the PID of the process you want to terminate. You can find this using Ps. For example, if you found that Firefox has a PID of 1234, you could terminate it by typing kill 1234. Be cautious with kill, as it can terminate important system processes if used incorrectly. With Ps and kill, you have the tools to monitor and manage processes effectively. Practice using these commands to keep your system running smoothly.